Bitcoin revving up for another breakout here, and we'll also talk about specific altcoins that are pumping that we think will continue to pump. We'll talk about that and more. Keep watching. Welcome to BlockRoots. I am Josh, and on behalf of my co-founder, Kenner and Clark, we just want to say welcome to the channel. If you've not yet subscribed, click the red button below. You'll get direct notifications for each and every time we put out a new video. You'll want those because we're technically in a bull market, right? So you want to get those updates, know about altcoins, know about Bitcoin and what's going to happen. So make sure to do that. And also, don't forget to engage or comment on each and every video that we make, because when you do that, you're automatically in a drawing for a $100 Bitcoin giveaway that we do each and every week to one person who not only subscribes but comments on the video. And so we'll go ahead and do that today. I'm going to give away $100 of Bitcoin. So just make sure that you do that for this upcoming week so that you can be in the next drawing. On today's video, we'll talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about altcoins specifically as well, and I'll get into that in a minute. The first thing we want to do, nothing is financial advice, is look at the lower time frames on Bitcoin. We'll move up to the daily, to the weekly, and then we'll go on to Link and a few other altcoins. If that sounds good to you, make sure to keep watching because there's some good stuff that you want to know. Now, as far as Bitcoin, it's revving up. What's going to happen next? The good news is that on the lower time frames, it is making, as you see with these lines right here, these badly drawn lines, but basically it is a higher low, right? Now, hopefully this is a next higher low, that price does not dip below it, and we're also making higher highs on the trend. So again, we want to see this trend continue to form. If I go ahead and put the horizontal line out here, we don't want the lower time frames to hopefully, we want it to stay above 11,430-ish. That would be great if it can continue to stay there, because again, that would signify another higher low on the trend as we continue to move on up. And that's the key. Now, overall, where we want to break on the lower time frames is above 11,800, right? So that's going to, if I were to zoom out here now, you can see the bigger picture, that is going to be the clear trend break once price can move on back up here, break above, hold, and then move on up. On the lower time frames, this is going to be key. So continue to watch. 11,800 is the place where you want it to break and hold. Now, as far as going back down, you certainly don't want price to break down below these levels, right? 11,100s or so. Definitely not below 11,000 on the lower time frames. Yes, it could happen. We hope that it doesn't happen. We hope that Bitcoin continues to trend on up. As much as people keep talking about that CME futures gap that should be retested or filled or explored down in the 9,000s, Bitcoin looks good right now, and so hopefully it continues on the trend. Now, as far as the daily chart, the high that we want to see recapture, the local high, right, was around 12,300 at this top red line right here, and you can notice that that was also resistance before. Now, that is where we want Bitcoin to close and break above. Now, before that, we would just like to see Bitcoin kind of recapture the close area right here, right? The top of this range. They want to see Bitcoin at least recapture 11,972 on the daily chart. I talked about, again, CME futures gap. A lot of people were bearish just a couple of days ago, how easily our emotions change. But again, I talked on Twitter that I'm not bearish until price actually were to come down here, break below, stay close below this on the daily and move back down, right? I don't want price to go back in this range. I don't want price to go under $10,000 at all. I don't care even if price, I hope it doesn't, but if price were to go down here, wick down and move on back up, explore, fill that CME's future gap, I wouldn't care as long as it was a wick. But if we close down in this area, then yeah, I think that that would be quite bearish. So I'm glad that Bitcoin's deciding to move on up here. But again, I'm not worried on the daily chart, the higher time frames, unless Bitcoin actually closes below, 10,400, 10,500. Now, as we look at the weekly close, the weekly closes this weekend, and the weekly chart is right here. Bitcoin is technically still sitting pretty, right? Because we see the support area that has held for so long that we finally broke above around 11,500. We see that holding okay right here. See the wick right here? This is this week's weekly candle. We see the wick go down, but price is actually staying above that level. So if it closes above that level, I do see that as a bullish scenario for us to continue to move on up and hopefully break above this next area, which is at around 11,900. So as long as price stays above this level, tomorrow is the weekly close, I feel like it's a good sign for Bitcoin. Now, as far as altcoins, again, if you're looking to trade alts, as always, I talk about using Phemex.trade. Phemex is our partner here at BlockRoots because we trust them. They're a great platform overall. Great for leverage trading altcoins, specifically Chainlink and Tezos. Bitcoin as well, right? That's most of the volume goes into Bitcoin. But if you're a Chainlink Marine and you're bullish overall, I think that this is a fantastic site. And basically what I drew on the chart this past week, 6 days ago, I said, this is what I want to see for Chainlink. I want to see Chainlink come up above 1603 here. I want to see it break above it, then move on up above 1657, hold that level, and continue to move on up. Well, it didn't happen as soon as I wanted, but here on the Phemex chart, you can see that it is happening now. And if you notice right now, price is broken above this area, right? This key level that I've been watching. Now price is coming back down to retest right now. Now I wonder how many people are going to be shorting this or how many people are going to be selling their Chainlink on spot here because they're worried it's pulling back when this is actually just a bullish retest of a support level. So hopefully it's going to hold the 1657 level. It's just retesting it right now. Hopefully it wicks up and continues to move on up. I do think that eventually Chainlink is going to break above 18 again and continue to move on up from there. So, now, speaking of altcoins, I did give some advice on Twitter this week, and I talked about how people just really sell their alts way too early in a bull market. Now, if it was a bear market, if it's a downtrend, totally, you don't want to be overexposed to altcoins. Now, it's always important anyways not to be overexposed to alts because they have a faster drawdown than Bitcoin. But most people sell alts too early, primarily out of panic during dips, right? Then they get angry after it runs up higher in price later on. And if you buy an alt that you plan to hold for weeks or months, buy it and don't stare at the chart or micromanage your trade. And so I actually use an example of Kalupu, a Polkadot chain asset, KLP, that I bought it at 50. It went down to 18. I was tempted to just sell it and get out. But you know what? Now it's over $2 and I'm up 4x. I also use Lambden as an example. And then another example is Polkadot, right? So actually, I talked on Twitter as well as I finally got on Polkadot on the pullback here. And if you look at the trend line, of course, naturally, to buy a trend line can be really good because price pulls back to the trend line. And typically what's going to happen if it's in an uptrend, it's just going to bounce right off and continue on up that trend. Well, that didn't necessarily happen with Polkadot this week because Polkadot not only hit this, I thought I was being a Chad and buying the dip, and it just kept dipping. So instead of selling though, I was bullish on Polkadot long term. I think it's going to be a top 5 market cap altcoin. I bought it. I wasn't afraid to sell, as tempted as I was, as it went down to around 520, as I bought in around high, 580. But now look at the price at $6.36. And this is another reason why you don't necessarily always just want to trade on trend lines. Some people like to trade on trend lines. I prefer horizontals. But if you see overall, this horizontal area was held, and the support was held overall around 550. So that was bullish. Now, Polkadot is making its way back up, and the next place that we want to see it break is around 670, 673. If Polkadot then, of course, moves on up, recaptures this area, I think that it's just going to continue to move on up. And there's a lot of volume and bullishness behind Polkadot, so just know that, again, I do believe that Polkadot's going to be in a top 5 asset. You can buy it on Kraken. I know for the United States, a lot of people are asking where can you buy it at. Kraken is going to be it. You can buy it in many other exchanges across the world. But if you're in America, Kraken is probably going to be the place where you do want to buy Polkadot. Now, if you're a subscriber to Crypto Market Insights with BlockRoots, it's $9.95 a month. It's from Cantor and Clark and I. We make it each and every week. There's some great analysis there. And we also like to give tips on all coins that we're watching and buying for the week. And if you actually were a subscriber and you bought in, we did get some positive emails after this was released on Thursday because Serum, Solana, and Yearn Finance were the 3 altcoins that we pointed out this week. And hey, they've all pumped pretty well since then. Serum, quick pump, kind of pulled back, but Selena up over $4. Yearn Finance is looking tremendous. Now, speaking of altcoins that are performing really well, that is all the Yearn Finance coins and forks. So from Yearn Finance, from YF2, and from YFii, or whatever you want to call it, to YFL. We'll look at these in a minute, but YFI, Yearn Finance is looking fantastic. It's at $24,000. It peaked out over $27,000 today, on its way to $30,000. And we talked in Crypto Market Insights that this was a potential buy because it was looking really good. It was compressing, and it looked like it was going to move on up to new highs. And a quick sneak peek at the chart here for Yearn that we shared, that we believe that, hey, at $14,000, it was about to move over $15,775 and move on up over 20K. It happened. So again, congratulations to you guys who got in Yearn Finance under 20K, because again, it hit over 27,000 today. For those of you who took some profit there, it has been performing tremendously. And for the market cap, I do believe that it's not going to be outrageous for us to see Yearn Finance eventually hit $50,000. So it can happen. You know, there's only 30,000 of them, very scarce. And again, I think that it can do that. You know, as far as the other Yearn forks, you know, we see YF double I don't even know what they call it, right? It's the Chinese fork of it, but the DFI.money is now the asset. It's up over $3,000, right? 240 million in volume. That's because they got it listed over in Huobi on that exchange in China. So just know that a lot of money is going into this. I was bearish on this fork because I actually farmed it. I lost money on it. I sold it over $100. And since then it's done a 30x. And hey, you live and learn. Now, the other YF fork that I'm in, that I'm really big into, because you guys know that I'm really big into Chainlink, and that is YF Link, okay? The fork that is concentrated with the Link Marines. And so as far as that goes, I'll talk a little bit about what they're doing really fast, but just look at the chart. The chart is doing tremendous. It held in this range around $60. You know, it held over that as support. It has pushed up since over $200, but you know, now it's around 186. I do believe that after price can break above this $205 level, it's going to continue to move on up, because there are some really bullish fundamentals going on with YFL right now. And the specific thing that pumped YFL, I talked about on Twitter, and it's called LinkSwap, okay? So LinkSwap is going to be a community-governed automated market maker, AMN, focused on safety and value capture for the Link community. And there is an article that talks about this, but basically in brief, with LinkSwap, Link and YFL holders will have many opportunities to grow their bags of Link and stake them for yield. Both Link and Ethereum pairs for assets will be added to LinkSwap overall. And if you go ahead and click on the Medium article, which I can link below, it talks about LinkSwap, and again, the swap exchange that you're going to be able to use Link and YFL to earn rewards with your Link and YFL. And so again, you can go ahead and look through here, and it talks about why Link and YFL is going to be a better choice to use than maybe even Uniswap, which I know is very popular. I love Uniswap as well. But make sure you check out LinkSwap. I think that overall, you know, I have a conflict of interest. I'm bullish on LinkSwap. I'm bullish on YFL because I do hold it. But before then, I was telling people to buy in at $30 over on Twitter. It has hit big since then. So again, long term, I do believe that this will hit quite a bit higher. I don't want to be speculative in price. I do think that it hits at least another 10x from here. But with that said, just make sure that you're watching YFL and really all the Y coins. On the dips, it seems like they're going to be continue to do well overall, because there is a lot of volume going in. There's a lot of bullish fundamentals with these. And again, we are in a bull market, so things are looking good. And outside of that, before we give $100 of Bitcoin away, just be aware that if you are a holder of Anti-Ample and Tobe, I know a lot of you are, that I've talked to, Anti-Ample is going to have a airdrop of Tobe today for all Anti-Ample holders. They're gonna actually get that today. So they're going to timestamp that. So if you're an anti-AMP holder, I would hold off on at least selling for today until they get that timestamp for that, so that you can be airdrop some TOB in your Ethereum wallet. So again, that has been an exciting project to watch. Keep an eye on that as well, but just a heads up on that. And before we go, let's go ahead and give away $100 in Bitcoin to one person who subscribed to the channel, as well as commented and engaged on our videos for this week. And the winner for this week of $100 of Bitcoin is Raulia. That was superb. And you gave your Bitcoin address below that. So congratulations, Braulia, or Brulio, if I'm saying your name right, on the Bitcoin giveaway here, $100, Brulio. That is to you. So again, congratulations on that. And if you're interested in winning $100 of Bitcoin, make sure that you leave a comment or engage in the videos each and every week, so that we can put you in that giveaway and that you can have the potential to win that. So with that said, guys, watch the Bitcoin weekly close, right? We want to make sure that it closes above 11,500. Right now it's sitting pretty. It's kind of, going back there. A lot of tension right now. What's going to happen? Is Bitcoin going to close below? Is it going to stay above it? We don't know. We've got the next, 24 to 48 hours to watch that. As far as the rest of the charts, just altcoins are doing tremendous. So continue to keep an eye out on the altcoins, all the Y coins on Chainlink, on Serum, on Solana, and on Polkadot. Those are some ones that we continue to watch overall. And we'll have more. We'll talk about more. I know there's more altcoins that come out each and every week, and so that have bullish fundamentals. But as always, guys, make sure that you trade effectively and keep a lookout on more videos from us this week. With that said, have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.